Have you ever felt like something invisible is always holding you back? Like every time you want to try, speak up, or take a step forward, something yanks you back into silence, into stillness. That something has a name: fear. And today, we're not going to tiptoe around it. We're going to rip it apart piece by piece. This isn't a speech about staying positive. This is about getting real. Fear has been running the show for too long. It keeps you small, stuck, and second-guessing every move, but not anymore. Because you're not here to survive, you're here to live, wide awake. You're not here to just cope. You're here to conquer. And I'm not going to feed you empty hype. I'm giving you tools, truths, and the fire you've been missing. We'll break down why fear is not what you think it is, how it pretends to protect you while it's quietly robbing you, and how people who rise up and win are not fearless, they just stop letting fear be the boss. So if you're tired of being pushed around by what-ifs and worst-case scenarios, listen closely. This could be the day everything changes. Fear is not just a feeling. It's not just butterflies in your stomach or sweaty palms before a big moment. No, fear is a liar, a thief, and the silent killer of dreams. It doesn't wait politely for an invitation. It kicks down the door and takes what matters most: your ideas, your voice, your time, your future. People like to say fear is natural, that it's normal. But let me ask you, what would your life look like if fear wasn't in the driver's seat? If fear hadn't talked you out of that one chance, that one move, that one conversation? Think about that. Fear doesn't gently whisper, "Maybe later." It grabs the wheel, slams the brakes, and says, "Not now, not you, not ever." It wraps itself around your potential and squeezes until you forget who you even are. Fear isn't passive, it's active. It doesn't sit quietly. It stalks your every move, waiting for the right moment to jump in and stop you cold. It's not protecting you. It's robbing you. The scariest part? Most people live their whole lives making decisions based on fear and calling it being smart. Fear doesn't keep you safe. It keeps you small. It's the burglar of boldness, the hijacker of happiness, and if you don't confront it, it will build a prison so comfortable you'll start to decorate it. But you're not meant to live behind bars built by your own thoughts. You're meant to break out. Fear doesn't always show up in panic. Sometimes it shows up in a three-piece suit and says, "Let's be realistic." That's the game it plays. It doesn't scream, it whispers in reason, "Wait until you're more ready." That's not practical. What if it doesn't work? Sound familiar? Let me tell you something. Fear is smart. It knows if it walks in loud and obvious, you'll push it away. So instead, it puts on a mask. It shows up as logic, when really it's hesitation. It shows up as comfort, when really it's you avoiding the discomfort of growth. It shows up as playing it safe, when really it's you giving up before you even try. Have you mistaken fear for wisdom? That's the real trap. Because when fear sounds like a friend, you stop questioning it, you follow it, you obey it, and slowly it rewires your choices. It turns dreams into daydreams, goals into maybe someday. People don't stay stuck because they're lazy. They stay stuck because fear convinced them that this is enough, that trying is too risky, that staying where you are is smarter than stepping into the unknown. But the unknown is where change happens. The unknown is where you happen. So stop giving fear a free pass just because it sounds polite. Call it what it is: a fake friend, a smooth talker, a liar dressed in common sense. And when you see it clearly, you can finally walk away. Fear is the greatest enemy of success. Napoleon Hill said that nearly a century ago, and it's still one of the truest things you'll ever hear. Because fear is behind every excuse, every delay, every time someone almost made it but didn't. It's the quiet force pulling people off the path. It's not the world that stops most people, it's the fear in them. If success is a mountain, fear is the gravity pulling you down. It makes the climb harder, the air thinner, the voices louder telling you to turn back. But here's the truth: everyone feels it. The difference between those who rise and those who fall isn't the fear, it's what they do with it. Some freeze, some push through. And those who push, they change their world. Don't let fear be the reason you stay behind. Let it be the reason you fight harder. You don't tame fear, you kill it. You don't try to live with it or talk it down or wait for it to go away on its own. You destroy it completely, because fear doesn't play fair. It doesn't negotiate. It invades your mind and makes you second guess everything you are. It twists your goals. It poisons your confidence. It lies and it lingers. And the longer you let it stay, the more control it takes. So stop making space for it. Stop giving it a seat at your table. You don't invite fear in, you throw it out. It's not a speed bump, it's a roadblock, and it's got to go. Smash it, rip it out from the roots. Replace it with belief, action, and truth. That's the only way. You don't manage fear. You eliminate it. Burn the bridge, shut the door, end the conversation, and start living like fear has no say in what happens next. This isn't about making peace with fear. It's about ending the war. Because the next part of this journey isn't just more talk. It's about tools. You'll learn how fear works, how it sneaks in, and most importantly, how to crush it before it crushes you. Ready to stop letting fear write your story? Then keep going. What's next will change everything. Have you ever stopped to ask, what exactly am I afraid of? Not in a vague way, but really asked. Named it, faced it, because most of the time, it's not danger, it's not death, it's not failure, it's the story, the one you've been telling yourself over and over again. Fear doesn't live in the facts, it lives in your thoughts. It's built from what-ifs and worst-case pictures painted in your head. It's not what's happening, it's what might happen. It's not danger, it's not death, it's not failure, it's the story. The story says, if you try, you'll look stupid. If you speak up, they'll laugh. If you change, you'll lose everything. But those aren't facts. They're guesses. Scripts you've rehearsed so many times, they feel real. Fear isn't a threat. It's the story you tell yourself about the threat, and stories can be rewritten. That's the power you've been sitting on this whole time. So ask yourself right now, are you afraid of what's happening or what might happen? There's a difference. One is real, the other is a shadow. One you can face, the other fades when you shine a light on it. The more you question the story, the weaker it gets, and the stronger you become. You get to take the pen back. You get to flip the script. Because fear has been writing your chapters long enough. Your brain is a movie director, and fear is its favorite genre. It doesn't need facts. It doesn't need proof. All it needs is a flicker of doubt, and suddenly you're watching a horror film starring your own life. That job interview, it turns into a public failure. That relationship, it ends in heartbreak before it even begins. That dream, crushed under the weight of imagined disasters. Danger is real, but fear? Fear is a story about danger that hasn't even happened yet. That's the trick. Your mind can't always tell the difference between a real threat and a made-up one. And when it leans too far into fantasy, it builds monsters where there are none. Fear used to be useful. It kept our ancestors alive, kept them from walking into the dark woods or touching the fire. But today, most fear doesn't protect, it paralyzes. It keeps you stuck. Safe but small, breathing but not really living. The things you fear most, they're usually just shadows, shapes on the wall that vanish when you flip the light on. So stop letting your brain run the horror show. Change the script. Call it what it is, an illusion. And once you see that, it loses its grip. Fear feeds itself, and you're the one holding the spoon. One fearful thought leads to a surge of emotion, tight chest, racing heart, spinning mind. That emotion feels real, so you assume the thought must be real too. And just like that, the loop begins. It's like a hamster wheel. Thought, emotion, reaction, round and round. You think, I'll fail. You feel nervous. You take that nervousness as proof that something bad is coming. So you pull back, you avoid, and you retreat. And the fear wins. Again, but here's the truth. The emotion isn't proof, it's just a response. Your body reacts to your mind, not the world. That means fear doesn't need truth to feel real, it just needs repetition. And the more you think the same fearful thoughts, the more those emotions lock in. You're not weak for feeling fear, you're just caught in the loop. But once you see the loop, you can break it. You can say, this feeling isn't fact, you can challenge the thought, breathe through the emotion, and choose a different action. The loop ends when you stop feeding it, when you stop reacting to fear as truth and start seeing it as noise. You have the power to step off the wheel, but first you have to realize you're even on it. Poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, death. These are the 6 basic fears. Napoleon Hill said, drive every other fear. And when you look closely, you'll see them hiding behind almost every hesitation, every doubt, every time you hold yourself back. You don't ask for the raise because you fear rejection, criticism, poverty. You stay in the wrong relationship because you fear being alone, losing love. You avoid the hard choices because you fear failure, sickness, aging, or the unknown beyond life. These fears are ancient, deep, but they're not unbeatable. Hill didn't list them to scare you. He listed them so you could fight them, so you could name them, see them, cut them off at the root. So ask yourself, which of these fears has controlled your life? Be honest. Because once you name it, you can stop running from it. And when you stop running, you start rising. Fear doesn't always scream. Sometimes it's the quiet voice that says, not yet. It's the sudden urge to clean your room instead of starting that project. It's rewriting the same email 5 times and still not sending it. It's scrolling instead of showing up. You think it's laziness. It's fear. You call it waiting for the right moment, but the truth is, you're stalling. You call it high standards, but really it's fear dressed up as perfectionism. Fear doesn't just freeze, it hides, it blends in, it wears masks, and until you rip those masks off, it keeps winning. Fear takes root in the soil of uncertainty and waters itself with inaction. It grows quietly, feeding off the stories you never questioned, the ones you were handed before you ever had a chance to choose. Think back. What were you taught about risk, about failure, about speaking up? Most of us weren't taught to face fear. We were trained to avoid it, conditioned by parents who meant well but lived small, shaped by schools that punished mistakes, fed by media that sells fear like candy. So we learn to flinch, to shrink, to doubt, and it sticks. Because once you believe fear keeps you safe, you stop testing the edges. You stop asking, is this mine? You stop noticing that the voice in your head saying you're not good enough doesn't even sound like you. So let's ask the real question. Whose voice is in your head telling you you can't? Is it even yours? The truth? Fear isn't natural. It's taught, passed down like a family recipe, one built on silence, shame, and survival. But you don't have to keep baking it into your life. You can break the pattern. You can pull the root. Because fear may have been planted without your permission, but it won't be removed without your power. Indecision plus doubt equals fear. Fear plus time equals regret. That's the formula. That's how it works. It starts when you freeze, when you overthink, hesitate, and stay stuck between maybe and someday. You get trapped in the middle, not moving forward, not letting go, just circling. Indecision opens the door, doubt walks in and sets up camp, and fear locks the door behind them. Now you're stuck in your own mind, playing out every possibility except the one where you actually act. Every time you hesitate, fear tightens its grip like ivy around a brick wall. You want to move, but you're tangled, and the longer you wait, the worse it gets. Thoughts multiply, options blur, confidence dies. This isn't about being reckless. It's about being real. If you don't choose, life chooses for you. And life doesn't wait. Time doesn't wait. The window closes whether you step through or not. So what's the solution? Decide, even if it's messy, even if it's scary, especially when it's scary, because clarity comes after action, not before. You think you need certainty to move, but what you really need is courage. Kill the loop. Make the call, take the step, break the equation. Comfort isn't always safety, it's sedation. It feels warm, it feels familiar, but it's a cage dressed up like a couch. You think you're in control, but really, you're stuck on autopilot, doing the same things, thinking the same thoughts, living the same day on repeat. You're not protecting yourself, you're protecting your fear. Routines become rituals, habits become hiding places, the job you don't love, the people you tolerate, the dream you shelve for later. These aren't neutral, they're shields. Shields fear hides behind while convincing you that stable means happy. But here's the truth. Comfort is expensive. It costs growth, it costs risk, it costs truth. Are your routines protecting your growth or protecting your fear? If you never feel uncomfortable, you're not growing, you're just maintaining, staying still. And the longer you stay still, the more fear gets to live like it owns the place. So pull back the curtain, look at your habits, not just what you do, but why you do it. Ask yourself, is this helping me move or helping me hide? Because fear doesn't always barge in. Sometimes it moves in quietly and calls itself normal life. Did you choose your fears or did you inherit them? You weren't born afraid to speak or to try or to dream too big. That came later, handed down like hand-me-down clothes from people who loved you but lived small. Parents who worried too much. Teachers who said, be realistic. Friends who made shrinking look smart. You absorbed it all, their doubts, their pain, their rules, and somewhere along the line, you started calling their limits your truth. But you've been living someone else's caution tape. You avoid risks not because you failed, but because someone else told you failure was fatal. You hold back not because you can't, but because someone else never gave themselves permission to go. So they never gave you permission either. It's not your fear, it's theirs. And once you see that, everything changes. Because now you can choose, you can unlearn, you can hand that fear back and say, this was never mine to carry. Your story doesn't have to match their map. You don't have to stay small just because they did. You inherited fear, but now you get to break the chain. Until fear has a name, it rules without resistance. You feel it, you sense it, but it stays vague, foggy, unclear. That's exactly how fear wins, by staying unnamed, because what you don't face, you can't fight. Call it out, label it. That's where the power shifts. Give it a name. Is it fear of failure? Fear of rejection? Fear of not being good enough? Get specific, get honest, because once it has a name, it becomes real, and what's real can be dealt with. You're not crazy, you're not weak, you're not stuck. You've just never said it out loud. And that silence, that's where fear grows. Say it out loud, on paper, in the mirror. The moment you name it, you start to own it. And what you own, you can change. Not tomorrow, not when it feels easier, not when the timing is perfect. Now, you've seen the lies. You've heard the voice in your head whispering, what if? You've felt the weight of every excuse, every hesitation, every moment you let fear decide for you. No more rehearsing disaster. No more hiding behind perfection. No more playing small to stay safe. Because fear doesn't disappear when you wait. It disappears when you act. When you name it, face it. Dismantle the story you've been told and the one you've been telling yourself. You're not here to cope with fear. You're here to crush it. You're not here to manage it. You're here to end it. So ask yourself, what would you build, say, chase, change? Who would you become if you stopped letting fear write your story and picked up the pen yourself? You already know the answer, and the truth is, you've always had the power, because you're not waiting anymore, you're rising. That's the whole game. Fear needs time to grow. It needs your second guessing, your overthinking, your need for just a little more certainty. It thrives in limbo. But a single decision, it's a blade. It cuts through all of that. Make the decision once and for all, not halfway, not maybe later, not if I feel ready, because readiness is a lie fear tells you to keep you stuck. A single match lights the path. Strike it. Say it, I'm done living small. I'm done feeding fear. I decide now. That moment is the death of the lie. Think about it. The moment you decided to walk away from something toxic, the moment you said no more, the moment you said yes to something that terrified you, and everything changed. One decision creates momentum. Momentum creates action. Action destroys fear. So stop waiting to feel brave. Decide, then move. That's where real power lives, because nothing is more dangerous to fear than a human being who's made up their mind. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not afraid. You're becoming aware. Fear doesn't own you. It never did. It just learned to speak your language. It showed up wearing familiar faces, using trusted voices, slipping into your habits until it felt like it was you. But it's not. This is your life. You set the rules. You decide what stays and what gets burned to the ground. You decide what you believe, what you chase, what you no longer tolerate. You're not a victim of fear. You're the master of it, because now you see it. Now you know how it moves. Now you know the stories it tells. And you're done listening. You've taken your power back. You've looked fear in the eye and said, you don't get to run this anymore. So from here on out, you walk different. You speak different. You choose different. You don't ask for permission from fear. You lead, because you're not here to survive. You're here to rise. Fear is an emotion, not a personality trait. You are not fear in motion. You are courage waking up. Understand this. Feeling fear is not the same as being consumed by it. You may feel afraid, but that doesn't mean fear defines you. It doesn't get to sit in the driver's seat and steer your life. Fear comes and goes. It's temporary, a passing emotion that shows up when you're about to step out of your comfort zone. But you are constant. You are more than a feeling. You are the observer. You are the decision maker. You are the person who chooses to rise above fear, not let it claim your identity. You are not the person who backs down because fear shows up. You are the person who pushes forward despite it. You are the one who says, I feel fear, but I am not fear. And that is the shift that changes everything. There's no more delay, no more hiding behind excuses or hoping things will get easier. The moment of truth is now. This is the point of no return. You've seen what fear can do, but now you see your power to do more, to be more. Step across. This is the war zone. Fear is the enemy, and it has to be defeated. But you're not going to defeat it with soft, wishful thinking. No. You need tools, weapons that will tear fear down before it can take root. These tools, they are clear decisions. They are actions that cut through hesitation. They are truths that expose the lies fear has told you. You can't afford to wait. You can't afford to second guess. The longer you hesitate, the stronger fear becomes. This is not a slow game. This is a battle that demands immediate action. Pick up the damn sword. Use the weapons you've been given and fight. When you are anchored in a mission, when you know exactly what you're fighting for, fear can't shake you. Fear thrives in uncertainty. It feeds on doubt. But purpose stands firm. It doesn't waver. It doesn't bend with the winds of distraction or hesitation. Define your mission, or fear will define it for you. When your why is crystal clear, when your purpose is so strong it gives you direction every day, fear becomes irrelevant. It can't touch you. It has no hold over someone who is unwavering in their commitment to something greater than the obstacles they face. Find that, and you'll never be lost again. Your purpose will keep you grounded even when everything else around you starts to shake. You think courage is something you summon in a moment of crisis? Think again. Courage is a muscle that gets stronger every time you use it. You can't defeat fear if you only fight it on game day. Fear grows when it's unchecked, when it's allowed to build and grow over time. But with daily action, you force it to shrink. You expose it for what it truly is, just an illusion, something you can face head on and dismantle. Make courage your morning coffee. Take a sip and move. Do one thing that scares you today, one thing that makes you uncomfortable, and do it tomorrow, and the day after that. Soon fear will be irrelevant because you've built a habitual resistance to it. Fear wants to hijack your imagination. It wants you to focus on what could go wrong, on every possible disaster that could unfold. But what if you took control of that space? What if you rewrote the script before fear had a chance to? In your mind, design the outcome you want. Visualize the victory, the success, the peace. See yourself moving through the challenges, not getting overwhelmed by them. When you take the reins of your imagination, you reshape your reality. Fear no longer controls the story. You do. If you're serious about breaking free from fear, you need to surround yourself with people who speak a different language, one of action, truth, and courage. The concept of a mastermind group isn't just about sharing ideas. It's about mutual growth, accountability, and cutting through the noise of self-doubt. When you align with others who have zero tolerance for fear, you create a force field around your mindset. Fear can't breathe in a room full of truth-tellers. You build strength from the energy of others who challenge you, support you, and lift you higher. Together, you're unstoppable. So ask yourself, who's in your circle? Are they holding you back or pushing you forward? If fear is still in the conversation, it's time to upgrade your allies. Move again, keep moving. The antidote to fear is action. Fear builds fences, but action blows holes through them. You don't have time to wait for permission. You don't have the luxury to overthink. The moment you start moving, fear loses its grip. Think less, act more. Momentum is the killer of hesitation. The longer you stand still, the more time fear has to paralyze you. The key is to move, then move again. Each step you take weakens fear's power. Get moving now. Face it, fight it, finish it. This is your battle plan, your fear kill list. Write it down, track it, commit to it. Your list should contain 3-5 actions that push you out of your comfort zone every single day. Each task should scare you into growth. No more excuses, no more waiting for the perfect moment. The time to act is now. Fear is a choice, and today you choose to finish it. Write it, do it, kill it. The labels that fear has stuck to you, anxious, weak, incapable, are not who you truly are. They are not your identity, but rather the stories you absorbed from conditioning, trauma, or repetition. The truth is, these labels are nothing more than distractions. Fear is the mask. Courage is your face. You've been living behind a costume. Fear gave you a script, and you've been acting it out for far too long. But now it's time to strip off that costume. Let the real you step forward. Without the stories, without the masks, just you. Speak the truth, then speak it again and again. Every time you repeat it, you're rewriting your identity, rewiring your mind to reflect the truth instead of the lies fear told you. This is your mental reprogramming. Affirmations are more than just words. They are declarations of power. So say it. Say it louder than fear ever did. Let these truths sink into your bones. You are not fear. You are not weakness. You are not limitation. You are something far greater, something fear can never touch. Every choice you make is shaping your legacy. Will they say you played it safe, never challenging your fears? Or will they say you stood for something greater? That you chose courage over comfort, action over hesitation, growth over stagnation? The story you write today will echo long after you're gone. What will your legacy say? Will it be a testament to overcoming fear, or will fear have written it for you? The choice is yours. Your new identity doesn't just happen, it's crafted, one deliberate act at a time. Build your self-image like a fortress, strong, impenetrable, unyielding. Each day, you have the power to reinforce this identity. It's through daily habits, beliefs, and conscious choices that you construct the courageous version of yourself you were always meant to be. Stop waiting to feel fearless. Start acting like it. Courage doesn't come from waiting for fear to disappear. It comes from moving forward even when it's present. Every small action you take, every habit you form, and every belief you adopt is a brick in your fortress. Soon, fear will be nothing but an illusion standing at the gates of your unshakable confidence. Close your eyes, see them. See the fearless version of yourself, the one who walks with confidence, speaks with authority, and lives with purpose. Picture how you move, how you carry yourself, how you feel in this new skin. You've been rehearsing fear for too long. Now perform power. Step into that person right now. That version of you isn't some distant dream, it's already inside of you. All it takes is your decision to become them. Fear ends here. Fear ends now. Fear ends with you. This is your line. No more hesitation. No more waiting. This is your war, and you're taking this is not therapy, this is war. And today, you win. Fear can't exist without your permission. You are drawing the line in the sand right here, right now. No more compromise, no more neutrality. You are done with fear. You are done being its victim. Today, you take the power back. This is your moment. This is your victory. It's time to speak your truth, to claim your power. Your words are weapons. Your declaration is your battle cry. Right now, I want you to say this, and say it like you mean it. I don't serve fear. I don't shrink. I don't stop. Feel the weight of those words. Let them ignite something deep within you. Now take this declaration and make it your own. You know the things fear has whispered in your ear. Now it's time to drown them out with your own voice. What does your declaration sound like? Create it, speak it, own it, record it, play it back. Say it every day until fear doesn't recognize you anymore. Words carry the weight of your conviction, and every time you speak them, you are cementing your fearless identity. Fear thrives on silence, but not anymore. Say it again and make it loud enough for the world to hear. I am the master and fear is my servant. This is how you break free. This is how you take control.